Hi everybody, and today we start our series of lectures in current issues in leadership and change. And in these lectures we will discuss, as I already told you in my introductory class, we will discuss the issues of growing organizations. We will discuss how to manage growth, how to manage this growth successfully, how to assure that the growth of your organization is sustainable. And all these issues we discuss in current environment, which is very much unstable and very much unpredictable, but we want to establish some kind of security and sustainability for our own organizations. And once again, I remind you that this class is not only for business organizations. If you manage non-profit organization, great. This is exactly the class for you. If you're in state government organizations, it's a little bit harder maybe to apply, but reinventing management, this is exactly, this is my favorite approach in managing government because you have to compete. You have to compete for people attention. You have to compete with good service. You have to compete with wise decisions. And not just to say we are government, that's why we are right. But people around you, they can compare different organizations. Sometimes they don't care which is private and what is not private organization. So I hope everybody in this class finds something useful for your organization, maybe for your future career. So this class is Leading Growing Organizations, number one class in this series. In this class, we'll define growth. When we say that our organization is growing organization, is it correct or not? This is the question. Sometimes we believe that everything is okay, but it is not. Sometimes we believe that we are growing really fast. It's not the fast growth. But sometimes it is really fast growth, but again, it might be a trouble. So how to measure growth, how to understand the level of the growth of your organization, and how to understand which pace of organizational growth is healthy for your particular organization. Because sometimes growth, when it's growth too fast or too slow, both sides are not good. We must find our own, the best, the healthiest pace of growth for our organization. We will discuss risk for fast-growing organizations because it's always, everything has its price. And the price, what fast-growing organizations pay is, okay, we are going to discuss this later. Then, if you decide to grow, if you decide that your organization wants to continue this growth, you have to choose the strategy of growth. And actually, it's the only way, it's not the choice to grow or not to grow. The choice is how to do this, and we will discuss the strategies of growth, and there are two main strategies, focus on a core and focus on quality, and we will discuss each of them. And at the end of the class, I will give just first kind of summary of managerial issues in organizational issues in managing growth. If the entire class today is more about strategic management, then the last part is about organizational development. And then the entire, the other classes will be more related to organizational development and still strategic management. Yes, so to kind of position this particular class in our course, in your program, our class is kind of intersection of strategic management class and strategic management and organizational development and leadership. So it's something kind of three of these areas, and our class an intersection of three of them. So defining growth. To understand if whether your company, your organization is growing or not, you first must look at market value growth. You have to define the market value of your company and compare with the market value of your company before. So the price of shares, of the price of your company, if this company on the market, and there are many techniques how to do this. Surprisingly, many companies, and especially not public companies, and especially small and medium enterprises, they don't do this, surprisingly. But actually, this is a good exercise for yourself and for your company to understand how it's valuable for other people. Of course, for you, it's a pressure. But if this company goes to the market, how much it might cost? Earning growth. How far your revenue is growing from year annually, from year to year. If it's for-profit organization, it's directly earning growth. If it's non-profit organizations, it's, I believe, donor support. If it's state organization, maybe it's growth of the project, of the budget of the projects you manage in these organizations, because this is kind of, it shows how big, how growing your organization is. And the most important is return to investment. Actually, this is number one and the most important criteria of defining growth. And again, in financial management class, you can find formulas for to estimate returns to investment. And this formula must be just the main source of information for you. Always be interested in this information, because actually this is what really matters. And you do these measures thinking about your core business. We will talk today about the core business, and we will define core business, but I want you to remember now that all these measures make sense if you measure them about your core business, not about everything what your company does, not about everything what your non-profit organization does, but about something what you made for or you stand for. And again, we will discuss this later, but please keep in mind that this criteria of growth is about core business. When you define these, when you find these numbers, these results, data about your own organization, annual kind of dynamic for your company development, you compare this with gross domestic product growth, industry growth, and competitors' growth. Because even if your company is growing, actually it's variable only comparing with these three other sources of information. And now we will discuss how to do this. So you see the large table, and I understand that from screen maybe it's a little bit hard to see. I did my best to show as best as possible, but you see at the slide reference to the article Slivotsky and Weiss 2002 Harvard Business Review, where you can find this data again. So the idea is these are companies: Morgan Chase, Disney, ExxonMobil, Alcoa, Emerson Electric, and Gillette, and Caterpillar, and